Right. So, what brings you here?
So do you want me to just give you kind of like a rundown of where I'm at or
Yeah, of
okay.
course. Yep, by all
Yeah,
means.
so yeah. Um so I guess I kind of got into this stuff around 10 years ago. Um I was reading Eckhart Tolle's book and
Yeah.
everything just kind of really resonated with me. It really felt like that a lot of that made sense.
Yep.
And then I came across Jed McKenna's work. I'm not sure if you know.
Jed. I know of Jed. Yep.
Yeah, so I read his books and that made a lot of sense too. That was a lot of non-dual stuff.
Yep.
At that time I was reading that stuff, my wife was actually really, really sick.
Ah,
And I just, and I just felt like that wasn't the time to kind of get
yeah.
rid of Zach at that at that time.
Yep.
So yeah, I dealt with what I had to deal with in my life, but I've always felt like this was kind of it's something that's always been in the back of my mind. It's something that's always kind of just been there. So the
Yep.
last 10 years, it's been a lot of just like meditating and just kind of doing things that weren't really pushing me along too far. And
Uh,
then this past summer, I don't know how it happened. I just got into Angelo DeLulo, I think his name is. He's another non-dual teacher. Um,
I've heard that name too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, he's got
Yep.
a really good book called Awake. Anyway, I read that and it just kind of got me back on the non-dual path. And then
Yep.
like 3 weeks ago, I was just on YouTube and I seen just a video of yours and it just kind of hit me. Just felt like it was the most direct pointing that I've ever kind of heard. And
Hmm.
that it just kind of felt right. It just felt like this is what I need to hear. And so I've been
Yeah.
just watching your videos, and
Yep.
honestly, when I first signed up, I had a lot of questions for you. And then over the last over the last like 4 or 5 days, seems like things are just kind of clarifying a little bit. And I've been able to kind of access this a little bit more. Um,
Yep.
where I've gone a couple days where it's just felt like I've just my thinking has been very, very quiet and I've just been able to like be here and just kind of be in this.
Yep.
And then of course the mind kind of kicks back on and it takes over a little bit and I've just kind of
Yep.
been kind of in and out of that
Yep.
lately. Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you a question there. Yep. Who or what has been in and out of that?
Um, yeah.
Because you said the mind kicked in a bit and you were in and out of it. So my question, and it's a real question, like who or what has been in and out of that?
Yeah, that's a good
In and out
question.
of the mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just have a look. Let's just have a look and explore that a little bit.
Yeah.
Who or
I
what
guess.
has been in and out of that?
Yeah, I guess if I say it like that, I take my mind as being myself, and I've been in and out of it.
When you're out of it, what's happening?
Um, when I'm out of it, it just feels like when I'm out of it, it feels like I'm pulled into conscious of like
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like it's real. I'm paying attention more to like objects and what's going on instead of consciousness.
And what of consciousness?
Pardon me.
And what of consciousness? What can you tell me about that? Consciousness.
Tell you about it.
Yeah.
Um,
You're conscious right now?
yes. Yeah.
Should be easy.
Yeah.
Where you go. Tell me about consciousness.
Uh, just this consciousness is just it's like the lights are turned on.
Yeah. Are you conscious of?
Am I conscious of? Yeah.
Okay. And what about consciousness? See,
Like I yeah.
let me help you. Let me help. See, as a seeming person, okay,
Mhm.
a seeming person, right? Zach, yep. Am I pronouncing it rightly? Zach?
Zach, yep. Sorry, you're kind of
Zach, yep.
cutting in and out a little bit, so I'm missing just a
Ah, okay.
little bit.
Well, let me know if that does happen, and I'll repeat if it does happen.
Okay.
So, as a being personal self, you know, where we live is in a state of being conscious of. So you're conscious of the laptop in front of you, you're conscious of feelings that come up in your body, you're conscious of thoughts, you're conscious of the sun, star, moon, etc., 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 right?
Right.
Conscious of. Now, this place of consciousness, we assume it's personal self. So it's Zach that would be conscious of. It would be Zach that's conscious of thoughts. It's Zach that's conscious of the sun, stars, moon, etc., etc., etc. Yeah,
Yep.
that's where we live as a person. Yeah, we uh, take possession of consciousness and then call consciousness me. That's what we do as a person. Yeah? So we're constantly in a state of living in a state of being conscious of, totally unaware of consciousness, because we assume this that's conscious is me. And we figure we know who and what me is. So I don't need to look there. Yeah, it's me that's conscious. Yeah?
Mhm.
Now, conscious of, how often do we notice space?
How often do we know outer space?
Do we notice space?
Yeah.
How often do we notice space, like space around us? How often do we notice space?
Um, I notice it.
You do? Good,
Yeah, I
good,
feel like I
good.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good, good, good. Yeah. Because space to the mind is a no thing.
Mhm.
So what we do is we get attached to things. The mind gets attached to things, like a laptop or a table or, yeah, whatever. The mind constantly gets attached to things. Yeah? It doesn't know what space is. So space gets what does no thing, nothing. Yeah.
Mhm.
But in the absence, could there be things?
No,
No. In the absence
no,
of things, could there be space?
no.
In the absence of things, could there be space?
Yes, in the absence of things, yes.
Good, good. So what comes first?
Space.
Why don't we notice that usually?
Because
We're
we're
always caught
consumed.
up with things, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what the mind does. Yeah, it just attaches to things. It creates things all around us all the time. Yeah? Now, so what I'm trying to get you to do, and I think you're onto it. So I'm giving you credit there. I think you're onto it. Yeah. What I'm trying to get you to do is to go from a state of being conscious of to simply conscious.
Mhm.
When I say to you, are you conscious right now? You would say, yes. So, okay, good. Tell me about that.
Feel
Just
like you can't.
that.
Yeah. It's hard to say anything about it. You can't really say anything about it.
It is hard. It is hard to say anything about it. Anything
Yeah.
that we said about it wouldn't be it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, it's just simply wouldn't be it. Yeah. So, sometimes I take people down this little analogy to try and get them to swing at. Like, and it begins with what I was just talking about, things are dependent or can tip on space. Without space, there's no things. So things are dependent upon space. This is a pointer, by the way. Don't take it to heart, but I'm pointing to something. So things are dependent upon space, and we can agree on that principle, yeah?
Yep.
Good. What's space dependent upon?
Consciousness.
Yeah. So if you remove consciousness, space and things disappear, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Now, what's consciousness dependent upon?
I don't know.
Awareness.
Awareness. Okay.
Are you aware that you're conscious right now? And you go, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. So what I'm trying to do is to get you or move you from being conscious of things, which is a lot of things, right, throughout the course of the day. Lots of different things, different thoughts, lots of things. Yeah. So I'm trying to move you from being conscious of to simply being aware of consciousness only. Now there's just one thing, just one. Yeah. Now this is a pointer, yeah, because ultimately what you discover is that awareness and consciousness are the same thing anyway. They're not two. They're the same thing, awareness and consciousness. But for the sake of the exercise, what I'm trying to get you to do is to just focus on the mere fact that you are conscious itself and only that. Only that. Now, the mind might be chatting away, and as you know, it does, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's okay. Ignore that, because otherwise you're going to be conscious of two things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or aware of two things, rather. Yeah. Consciousness and the mind going, bah, 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 bah. Yeah. So just shift the attention away from the mind and simply come back to consciousness itself. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I'm
Can you do that?
That's what I try to do all day long. I
Good. Good.
Yeah, I
Good.
feel yeah, it's constantly a process of there's something in the mind or I think about something.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
notice that, and I come back
Yeah.
to inquiry of what
Hang
am
on.
I, and enter into consciousness, and I try to stay there as long as
Yeah.
I can. And then
Well, look,
eventually something else steers you.
yeah, here's the thing. That consciousness is always here.
Hmm.
It just gets clouded by thoughts, that's all.
Yeah.
It's not like when the thoughts come in that you become unconscious. Because to even have thoughts, you'd have to be conscious, right? So the consciousness is always there. It's still always there. Now, this idea of a personal self, yeah, can the personal self experience the body? Can Zach
No.
experience the body? Yeah, good.
Oh,
Then
just
this
thinks.
question. Good. Can you experience Zach?
Can consciousness experience Zach, or can
Yeah, I'm not talking to Zach, obviously. Zach can't hear me. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
You can. Okay. How does consciousness experience Zach?
Consciousness um, feels like it is Zach at times. Feels like it's Zach's mind and Zach's body.
Good. What does Zach feel like?
Um, Collection of thoughts.
Yeah. But what?
Yeah.
Good. But what does Zach feel?
What does Zach feel like? Um,
Yeah.
it feels like a pull. It feels like the collection of Zach and the thoughts are like trying to like pull the consciousness into it to take the awareness off the consciousness and put it into the Zach.
Okay, so physiologically, what does it look like?
Physiologically, feels like a body. Yeah.
Ah, Zach feels like a body. Is Zach a body?
No.
Is Zach? So then let's have another look at that. Yeah. Does consciousness experience Zach as a body?
Consciousness. No. No. Just as a
Doesn't, does
collective.
it?
No.
Yeah. Like if you could imagine, yeah, if the mind just completely dropped and completely stopped, okay? Now what's consciousness experiencing in relation to a body?
Just the body. Just the sensation of the body.
What sensation?
What sensation?
Because it's like, it's still sounding like two. Consciousness is experiencing a sensation of the body. Is there two or is there one?
There's one.
Good. Good. So what I was just pointing out to you then was the mind answering me. Yeah. And whatever it says, it's wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever it says, it's wrong. Okay. So that brings us back to what you were saying earlier when I said, hey, tell me about consciousness. And you kind of, you were right. You went, well, there's not much you can say about it. But you're conscious, right? Fully conscious. What's wrong with that?